Hi, Lara.
Hi, Jeannie.
It is so wonderful to sit here with you. I think during the filming of season 2, so even before season 2 was released, I got to spend some time with you and see you do your thing. And now here we are.
And here we are.
Life has really changed for you, huh?
Were you in season 1 while we were recording, right? Or at the end of season 1?
Yeah, I think it was the beginning of season 2.
1.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Right before life just... Phew.
Yeah.
And The Chosen now is this global phenomenon.
I know.
Talk about that. Just playing Eden, your role, and all of that. That's amazing.
Oh my gosh. Playing Eden has been incredible. It's been life-changing, I think, for not only for the fans and women who relate, but for me, just like spiritually, just in my everyday life, and the fans we encounter and the messages that we get and how it's reaching the world. And then just like our audience is so incredible. We have like the best fans.
You do.
Yeah. So I think that all of us coming together for that, and like for the love of the show and telling the story, getting to see it come to life and being a part of it has been just, it's still hard to wrap my head around it, even as we sit here, like, with you, doing all these things.
Did you ever anticipate it being so well received?
So I think when I first read the script, I knew that, wow, there's something special about this. And I think that, like, I know that I had an impact reading it, and I was hoping that, like, people would, but I don't think we knew like what was going to happen with it. Because I think for me personally, going into any show or something new, you just never know. And so you don't want to like get your hopes up, because what if it doesn't work out? What if people don't like it? You just, but then to see the response that we've gotten has been incredible.
I love it.
Yeah.
The Chosen has such a strong message all around, and I know you're an amazing woman of faith. Talk about how it's ministered to you, just being in the presence of the content that you're in all the time, and just really the way the writers are able to bring Jesus to us in this day and age.
Yes, for sure. I think that with the writing and how beautifully they are able to like paint the pictures between the lines of scripture, and then it's our job to like bring it to life. For me personally, I've really had to rely on God to help me, because for me, like, my acting has always been a spiritual connection.
Wow.
And I feel like I can't talk about my love and my passion and finding acting without talking about me finding Jesus.
Love that.
Because it was later in life and I didn't know what I wanted to do. And so like for me, it's just been this incredible journey to have God like full circle bring me on a faith-based show to help tell a story, and then to like share about my journey and my testimony, and like hope that it encourages and inspires people. It can feel like I have conversations with him all the time, like, I'm not ready for this. Like, what are you doing to me? But I've really had to rely on him through all of this, because it's so new to me. Wow. For most of us, I think, as actors, to be on a show like this.
Yeah.
So for me, that's where I get my strength from.
It's such a deep well, The Chosen, it's not on the surface Christianity that it's presenting. It's like the deep, real life stuff.
It impacts and it resonates. Yeah.
Absolutely. I would love to hear a little bit of your actual coming to Jesus moment. I know that what we see in the series all the time is how Jesus meets people where they are. Shows up where they are.
Yeah.
So I'd love to hear your story.
He will literally meet you where you are. Growing up, I didn't really go to church. I didn't have like a personal relationship with Jesus. Like, I knew of him and I knew that God existed and that he created us. Because my mom, she grew up Catholic. So, we had it in the house, but it wasn't something that I personally knew or understood. And it wasn't until I finished high school and I started going to college, and I was studying sciences, and I loved all my anatomies and like all of that, and I wanted to be like a nurse. And but then I something just kind of didn't click, and I felt out of place. And at that time I definitely wasn't pursuing God either. And I was kind of lost in college, and I'm like, why? Like, what am I doing? I don't know if this is what I want to do. So I made the abrupt decision to leave, and then I started working and in restaurant industry and bartending, and then just got into like really late nights and like a lifestyle that I just didn't want to continue living and pursuing, and really not knowing like what I wanted to do, like what is my purpose, like what am I good at. I cry every time I share it because it was such a low point in my life, not going through life, not knowing like what you want to pursue, like what do I want to do. And so one of my friends, she asked me like, what were you doing the last time that you felt happy doing something? And I had to think back to elementary school, and it was like putting on shows and dances and performances, and that was like the last time I felt alive. And to go through life like not doing that was, like you were missing something. And so I that night I Googled, and she told me, why don't you just go for it? So I Googled like acting classes near me and I just showed up at this small little theater, and I remember like everything inside me just like being on fire. Like I was like, this is it. Like this is, I found it. Like I found my people, and I feel like I found where I belong. But what's interesting about that is that around the same time that I was feeling all of this depression and feeling lost, it was around the same time that I started going to church, and with a friend that was inviting me to go, and I started going with him and his family, and we were dating at the time. And like I remember that like even though we didn't end up working out, like I still continued to go, and I feel like finding my passion, and then like really feeling the tug of Jesus like showing me and telling me like, this is in you for a reason, and you didn't find it until you found me. So I don't know. And then just to come, rely on him and like for my talents, and know that like I've been given everything, was really special for me. So
here you are.
And here I am.
And the Lord is using you in a series that's touching people's lives the way you're talking about, that authentic encounter with God. Thank you for being so transparent.
Of course.
I always want to hear the deep stuff, because that's where Jesus is, you know. Something that's amazing about this show is that they want to present the authentic Jesus.
Yes.
Not, bash it over your head or convert you.
Right.
Just present Jesus.
Right.
So I've been asking everyone this. Who is the authentic Jesus? Lara, if you had to say who he is to you, who is that?
The authentic Jesus for me is perfection, and I feel like, striving to be like perfect, like I feel like it's not something that we can attain as humans.
Yeah.
But to know that somebody with so much humanity and so much power and so much love can be that person, Jesus is the person for me as well as like God, but for me, he's my friend. So it took me like a while to like find him in that way and realize that that's how attainable he is. Like he is a friend.
Yeah, and that's a game changer for us. Yeah, I love that. Talk about the presence of the female presence of The Chosen. I know season 3 is going to even ramp that up a little bit more.
Yes.
Talk about that. The presence of...
So the female presence and power that we have coming up in season 3, I don't think anyone is ready for.
Ooh, I can't wait.
And I'm really excited about it because there's some new characters that are going to be coming in too that I think people are going to love and be excited about. And I think women coming together too as well. We're going to have a little bit of that. And just seeing that, you know, I think it's going to really impact our women even more so than it already has. Yeah, and our men too, because I feel like they're going to get an inside glimpse of like, what we're going through, what we go through.
And they're always trying to figure us out anyway.
I know.
Here's a little more insight, guys.
Exactly.
So I know you recently got married and you get to play Peter's wife in this incredible series. How has that kind of overlapped? Have you kind of been able to take some of the content for this show to kind of help prepare you for marriage life?
Absolutely.
Really?
Yes. So it's funny because we started playing in season 1 before I was married. So I had to really like dig deep. Okay, like, well, if I was married, how would I react to this situation? Wow. What would I say? How would I do it? Let me place myself in this like, you know, emotional world. And then, and it's taught me a lot about like, you know, how, I mean, for Eden, at least, I think she's so strong and she is so patient and kind. It's really taught me like I think that's the best approach with anything, with any relationship, coming at it with love and patience and kindness. But also too, like she's a little sassy, so that comes natural. I have that naturally. I think as Latinas.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I was like, us Latinas.
Yeah, like we just have that. Help so it. Yeah, we can't help it, and I love that, you know, the writers that like they've allowed me to really shine in that. So. Yeah.
That's awesome. You don't have to dig as deep, though, because now you are a married woman, so you kind of understand it. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I love that. We talked yesterday with some of the people behind the scenes just about kind of the miraculous things that happens on the set of The Chosen, you know, where God just kind of shows up and helps in any way or form. Have you kind of had any experience like that where you're just like, whoa, something divine just happened?
Yes, for sure. Specifically... it's happened already for me in season 3 during filming, but I can't really say anything about that just because I don't want to accidentally give anything away. But for season 1, the scene where Simon and I are arguing and we're going back and forth where I'm telling him, you know, I need you to be the man that I married and you're not that person right now. Like, you're not pursuing God and, you know, we've got all these struggles and... he's trying to do everything on his own. And I remember that's a long scene and it's so emotional. And I remember like take after take, I was really looking for like strength because it's tough, right? As for anybody to do, especially as an actor when it is required of you to do it over and over again. And so I remember there was, I think the second to last, you know, take that we were gonna do, I literally got on my knees. Like, I don't know, you know, everybody was kind of doing their own thing. We were resetting for something and I really just prayed and I didn't care like who saw me or who was there. It was just like this moment that I had between Jesus and I was just like, if this is where you placed me, I'm like, I am feeling drained and depleted and you got me here. And so now you need to help me get through these scenes and do it justice and like just help me get there. And I remember I stood up and I just, you know, kept on and plowed through.
You had that supernatural strength.
I did.
So you're right. It was season 1 because guess what? Yeah. I was there for that scene.
Oh, you're right.
I was backstage watching that entire.
I felt like
you were right. I'm sorry.
For season 1.
I totally thought it was season 2. Okay. It was totally season 1.
Yeah.
I was there and you guys were amazing. And I was thinking too, like the way you guys just had the stamina to keep going. And it was such an important part, you know, of the series, just kind of that interaction between a husband and a wife and a Christian dynamic. I thought that was really awesome.
Thank you. It was a very important scene, so I felt the pressure. And I was like, I need help, please.
And you did amazing. You did amazing.
You.
So we're going to end here, but I just have one final thing. If you had something that you wanted people to take away from The Chosen, what would that be?
Truly, I think we touched a little bit about it, is that Jesus will literally meet you wherever you are. It doesn't matter like how far you think you are from him or how you grew up or what you've been told or, you know, what friends or family say. I think that finding a relationship with him and seeing like that he will be there for you, meet you where you are, I think is what we can take away from it, and his humanity and just, I mean, he's there for us. And
Love it. Thank you so much. You are
you.
so precious.
Thank you.
I love your heart.